So what we're gonna be doing today, we're gonna be doing some more contour line drawings, but this is a way where you're gonna see like space within your drawings. So what I want you to do is study one of the landscapes that you pick out. And the first thing you're gonna do is kind of just lightly in pencil map out the different major sections. And I'm doing this pretty quick. You can also simplify your images. Some of them are like way more complex than the others. I'm gonna add this line in here. And you can always erase stuff that you don't necessarily want. We have these ice cracks here. You have this like major shape that kind of comes down. There's like a little valley there, and then you have this hill. And this is why I draw in pencil, because I can just draw really lightly and erase what I don't want. The next thing you would do, take one of your thicker markers, like this Sharpie, and I'm kind of doing these lines a little bumpy because that's where trees are, and I'm gonna outline these major lines that I did. And then this one kind of comes down. We have this like little pocket here of snow. And then if you have something like where I just did that, like you could add some line weight to hide it, because we'll be doing that later anyway. Look at this one. Okay, and then you also have these cracks in the ice. So I'm kind of looking at how that comes out. And then before I start the cross contour lines, one thing just to think about, this is what it would be called the vanishing point, where it's like the furthest you can see where all the lines kind of recede to that. So when you're doing contours on here, they should, especially the ones on the ground, if it's flat, they should all point to that, like that. And so cross contours, it's not just like, this is just a contour line drawing, but cross contours are like, hey, you can leave it there. Cross contours are more like what it looks like if you were actually standing there. So if you want to draw something that looks like it actually goes back into space, these are your cross contours where you're actually drawing like a picture plane. So I'm going to add a few more of the thick lines, and then I'll show you how to go in and add some of the like more thinner details. The nice thing with landscapes too is, you want to get as accurate as you can, but it's not like you're drawing a face or something that you like have to make it look like a certain way, if you know what I mean. It can be a little different, and that's fine. Okay, we'll get some trees going up here. You have some like different layers, and that also helps show that, it's kind of a gradual line. This is kind of coming up. You could add some clouds in, and also feel free to make this like a little more stylized if you want to. Like maybe I just want to add some like extra little lines around the clouds. You could make it like almost like a Zentangle where you have like some little patterns in there too. And then with the fine line, you can really get a lot of those little details where I'm looking at the rocks, and a lot of the lines will probably be more vertical, but you might have some that kind of show like this is a little dip in here, and if you add those cross contours in, that shows that kind of dips there, even if you have some of these other lines. And this is something you could go all day with. You could add some of these little trees in here. You could certainly add some of these lines. You don't have to make them like a grid like that, but you could add some of those lines to show that it goes back into space. So this is like ice, so it's really flat. And you could just keep going, follow those contours, and really look at, how they lay there, because that's how you can show that it's more three-dimensional, or it's more form. And then when you start shading, which we'll be learning later, this really helps shading. So you're not just doing this randomly. You can shade in a way that follows those contours, so you can make it look more realistic. This is the other one I did when it wasn't really recording, but same thing, you can go in and add plenty of details. Again, simplify things like these trees don't look just like that. I kind of made them a little stylized. That's totally fine too. But we just have today, I pulled a bunch of landscapes that you can pick from. You could also maybe I only wanted to focus on this right here. You could zoom in on just a part and only do that. Pick something that you think you'll have some fun with. You should have gotten your different size pens yesterday. But as of now, everyone can grab a sheet of paper and a landscape right there and get started. You can also add characters or monsters into this.